you very much. Wonderful. Hi, everybody. I'm worried my pants are going to drop. All right. Great to be here. Great to talk about this very important topic. Sustainable cities, eco-cities, zero carbon, low carbon cities, City 2.0. The whole world is talking about this. And yet it's only here in China that we're trying at a serious scale to actually realize eco-cities in the sense of an integrated system built from scratch. I will show you that it is specifically here in China that we can see at hyper speed that all these models we're trying to develop don't work. It is specifically China that proves these models fail and actually proves that me and my colleagues, planners, architects, at the moment don't know what we're doing yet. But it's also here in China where there's a real opportunity to develop new models that can actually put China in a position to become a leader of green thought, of eco-city planning. I'm trying to suggest today that there are 5 main contradictions, real hurdles, contradictions at the heart of the planning discipline. And hopefully I can introduce suggestions how we can sort of circumvent them with this model, Cloud City, or an evolutionary planning of eco-landscapes. The first assumption is quite simple. Many of my friends here too, architects, we're all trying to build green buildings. It's not enough. An accumulation, a group of green buildings still doesn't make a green city. For instance, we're still stuck in traffic even though all these buildings would be zero carbon. But these extreme conditions I'm talking about here in China are much more radical, go way beyond the architectural scale. This is the Chengdu-Chongqing urban corridor in Sichuan in 1990. Bear with me, I'm going to go very quickly. Every slide is 1 year of urban expansion. So 18 years in total. I think that should begin to give you an idea of what we're dealing with. Extreme, organic-driven growth, or as I call it, market-driven, unintentional development, MUD. MUD has been taking over the landscapes, and not just here in China, but on a smaller scale, it's actually at the heart of urban expansion everywhere. MUD defies design. MUD basically prevents models from being developed. This is my first contradiction. It's so profound, we really have to assume that maybe the city is not our greatest invention. Maybe the city is a mere byproduct of civilization. If you assume that here in China we design so much, we design these compounds at micro scale, to the doorknob, very quickly. It seems you have real control over your urban landscape. But if you zoom out, look at the satellite image, you see that these compounds, micro-planned compounds, begin to glue together, grow together, merge together into macro-organic landscapes. So, a premature conclusion is no new cities. If we want to be sustainable, we should not build new cities. Every time we position one of these satellites on the landscape, it's another instance, another starting point for more sprawl. This is the map you generally see of China. Clean, crisp, urban settlements, big, large, to the very small. What we really should be looking at is the spaces in between these dots, in between the cities. This map shows the population density. If you look at the most concentrated areas, you actually see an urban field roughly the size of France, with the density of an American small-sized city. So a true metropolitan field, or even megalopolis. That means that the real urban pattern is divided by 6 large clusters. The largest one right here from Shanghai all the way to Beijing. In that cluster, also all the problems accumulate. This is a map of water pollution, for instance. Also, all the energy consumption occurs in that concentrated region. And the struggle for space. If you zoom, it's hard to see, but this green map is the most productive agricultural area in China. And the red, the fastest expanding urban region. These are perfectly overlapping, which is what this map shows. Buildings and ecology, cities and ecology are competing for the same space. This concentration can be read for many different aspects, economy, etc. It really delivers what I think is the only true megalopolis in the world of already over 400 million people. Nobody has been talking about this. Planners, architects, politicians, nobody's really addressing this because it's happening below the radar. This is a sampling of satellite images that reveal the growth is happening at the village level. It's so bad that actually these villages in the last 30 years have exploded in size to form a contiguous urban pattern, touching each other all the way. So when we started 8-9 years ago to do a project mapping how to respond to one of China's craziest proposals, how to design 400 new cities of 1 million people each by 2020, first thing we found after a few months of research is that there was already in place one megalopolis of 400 million plus and growing fast. Can we even begin to steer that landscape, coax it, try and control its expansion, make sure that all the green space isn't being consumed? The one tool I want to suggest that we have left to do this, other than taxes, is public transportation and to an extent road transportation. This proposal is the first suggestion how we can begin to even further concentrate this urbanization into an almost complete continuous urban ridge running from here in Shanghai to Beijing, along the roads and along the high-speed rail. That's the starting point. Public transportation as a tool to begin to tame the beast, if you will. It's not enough. The second major contradiction is that even if we design really smart, high-tech, sophisticated eco-cities, one, they make up only a very small part of the built environment, and two, all these cities are plugged into the Chinese power grid. Chinese energy is sadly 80% coal-based. So you have your nice, smart city, you plug it in, it's not very smart, even if it looks the way. The good thing is, renewable potential in China is awesome. We have solar in the west, we have wind in the north, we have a lot of biomass potential in the entire east where the people are living, some hydro and some geothermal in the south. That's a beautiful split right along where the urbanization is happening. Very dense areas on this side, we can adopt to apply very localized biomass regeneration, applying local technology to turn this into sustainable.